you should already know what this is. And for those of you that aren't, just chill. See, we gonna get down to the other stuff here in a minute. But what I'm always trying to get everybody to understand is everything is vibration. So before we do anything else, just vibe. Yeah. How's everybody doing this afternoon? Or this evening? Or this morning, depending on where you are in the world? Yeah. We back in this thing. I need everybody to hit the like button as you come in my front door. And in doing so, understand, this is not about ego. Oh no. This is about algorithm. It just helps us expand the platform. That way, if you're not trying to hear what I'm trying to say, at least let us get out to the next motherfucker who is. Bye. Yeah. Empress Adele, mother of drums. How you doing? I'm delighted to see all of y'all as well. It's a tremendous blessing to be here. Let me fix this. There we go. This camera seems crooked. Is the camera crooked on y'all's end? Just let the vibe seep in. Yeah. EGMM, how you doing? Well, if you got a crooked head, we all right. Brittany, how you doing? Say, if you haven't smiled yet today, now would be the perfect time to do so. Like, right now. And if you can't find a smile for yourself, just allow me to be the smile on your face. Because at the end of the day, all I am is the smile on your face. All I am is the vibe. talk about it. But the vibe is the most important part. Where's everybody tapping in from in the world? We got Michigan in the motherfucking house. We got Virginia Beach in the motherfucking house. We got that AsTrO girl Quay coming from the cosmos. Yeah. I look better than I feel, but I'm feeling better. The moon is in Libra, so the aesthetic does matter. We're gonna take just like a few more minutes to let a few more people trickle in, and then we're gonna get down to the nitty-gritty. And today the nitty-gritty is gonna consist of us talking for a few minutes about the transits that are touching all of us. Maybe even touching on those aspects that might be affecting you. Awoken, what's up with it? I appreciate your love and support. I definitely feel a lot better. Without going to get an endoscopy, we've pretty much, through medical advice and through ruling out other stuff, have come to the determination that I stressed and ate myself into some pretty bad stomach ulcers there for a second. They weren't bleeding or anything, but I was in a lot of pain. And I still feel it every now and then, but it is improving. So the fact that it is improving does mean that it's not something that is chronic or terminal. So we're gonna be all right. That smile is pumping. Plus, even though I usually know, it kind of just dawned on me the other day that the sun is in my 8th house, so my mind, and in Gemini, so my mind is a little morbid these days. And we got about exactly one more week of that. Matter of fact, it might be eventful because I now have that black moon, the sun coming into a conjunction with the black moon Lilith, and then Charliklo, and then Chiron. all in consecutive days. So Chiron marks the cusp of my 9th house, which is ironic. It's exactly on the cusp of my 8th and 9th house. So the healing is coming, most definitely. Beats by Blessed Zone Out Music. What's up, fam? Yeah. See, it's about that time for you to open up your ear and let me crawl into your mind. One time. See these eyes right here? These are Pluto eyes. Here, hit this one. I need as many likes as I have people in my chat, and then I'm gonna get started. And it's straight like that. And that's just a matter of respect. Cause you know I'm gonna go in. Yo. Smile right now. I tried to stay smooth with it, but that Gemini got the best of me. It got a little goofy. See, I got the moon exactly conjunct my ascendant right now, so I'm feeling myself. Yeah. You finna feel me too. Yeah. Yeah, we finna talk about it, like right now. So, this the perfect vibe. You see, we got the sun at 9 degrees of Gemini right now. And what else could I feel but festive? See, this is a versatile energy. It's adaptable to whatever you're feeling at the moment. And see, with the moon also in Libra, most people are feeling sociable. Now, with this Gemini sun, understand, it could get real easy to get spread too thin. See, when you get too many irons in the fire, you could easily run out of fire. So, the best thing you can do with that Gemini energy is indulge in things that allow you to give quick and versatile responses. Yeah. And the sun is still loosely sextile to Mars, and loosely square to Saturn. And so when I'm looking at the sun, just for today, because this is really just going to be for today, with the sun still in that, and really 4 degrees, it's not going to be feeling the full effect anyway. All right. But with that sextile to Mars, hey, as long as you're moving confidently, you should be unstoppable. Okay. But if you allow yourself to get frustrated, then that anger could easily present a problem for you too. But it's much easier to just move with great confidence and stay versatile. All right. Now, with the sun square to Saturn, man, this is Gemini and Pisces. And see, Saturn is conjunct to my moon, as we all know, so that means the sun is square to my moon. And I've been dealing with it for a few days, but we almost done with that. And when you see the sun square to Saturn, you're reminded that you do have responsibilities. See, the environment could easily provide you with a lot of stimulus, and that's great, but you do have certain responsibilities. Now, with Gemini and Pisces, you could easily catch yourself going in circles, and that won't leave you nothing but frustrated. Okay, so give yourself the space that you need to deal with things effectively. All right. Now, the moon. We got the moon sitting now at 16 degrees of Libra. And, hey, with the moon in Libra, you could easily catch yourself looking at the next person for them to determine how you feel. Even if you're not looking for them to tell you or make you feel some type of way. You could be kind of lost in translation to the point where you're waiting for something to happen so you know how to address whatever's going on. It just means that you're more reactive. And with you being that way, it's really easy for you to be really easily influenced or over conciliatory. So, the best thing you can do with the moon in Libra is for each day, that the moon is in Libra, give yourself a little bit of time to get somewhere by yourself, to the other people and by situations and by all that other bullshit. Even with the sun in Gemini, there's so much outside stimulus that you can kind of get away from yourself. Get lost in other people, get lost in the environment. And then you end up being non-productive. And hold on. What happened to the chat? Is everybody good in the chat? Check in. It says the chat was disconnected for a second. I want to make sure everything's working. If y'all here, announce yourself. Now, all right, I see you, Empress Sadell, Mother of John. I see you, EGM. I appreciate you. It just said that YouTube glitched out, on my end. How you doing, Heather Nielsen? What's going on with the commissioner of the Vibe tribe? Anyway, so, like I said, the best thing you can do with all of this air and with the moon in Libra is put yourself in a space that you find aesthetically pleasing by yourself. And in that space, that will help you figure out what's going on with you away from the influence of the outside world or other people. and that will work wonders for you. And that's just for today and tomorrow. And then we'll talk about the moon being in Scorpio when we get there. All right. I had to come live today. I really didn't have any other choice. Not just because I love you, but also because YouTube has a certain payment threshold. And if I don't come live enough, or if I don't drop enough content, or if I don't get enough super chats or whatever going on, I'm not going to meet my quota and I'm not going to get paid. And my Mars in Capricorn just finds that right there unacceptable. Oh no. You got to go to work. And I've been doing readings all day and I've been catching up and I'm all caught up on those. So I'm ready for more customers and clients on that. So get at me as soon as you can. But shit. The sun is square to my moon in Pisces. Saturn is on my moon in Pisces. So it's real easy for me to just do what I have to do, the bare minimum, and then spend the rest of the time stressing and worrying and obsessing. And so that sun in Gemini does remind me, hey, in my 8th house, hey, bro, you got to get out. You got to come up out of that. You got to communicate them feelings. Yeah. But, what's up, Spicy Sag? And, my Mars in Capricorn just ain't gonna take me not being able to be effective with the skills that I do have. You feel me? Anyway. We got, Mercury. Mercury is now at 14 degrees of Taurus. And Mercury in Taurus is a chill energy. You can find yourself being a lot quieter than you might normally be, especially in Gemini season, because the thing is, you're observing more, you're soaking more in, you're being more receptive to the messages that are brought to you. And, you know, Mercury being in Taurus, people are going to pick up a lot more from the senses than they normally would. You know, the sight and sound and smell and feel of things, and the taste too. It takes on a whole different prominence with Mercury and Taurus, because you can pick up a lot of information from that. And the thing is, Mercury and Taurus can be closed-minded and stubborn. So people right now are going to be really stuck in their opinion, myself included. And y'all already know I'm like that anyway. But I have been especially stubborn here lately. And I've also been pleasantly obnoxious in my stubbornness, which is also kind of a Taurus trait in its own way, because I don't have to be rude to you to be an asshole to you. And I know that sounds crazy, but that's the truth. Like, I do not have, and with me being a Libra rising also, like, I don't have to cuss at you and call you names and talk crazy to you for me to be a straight up pompous asshole to you. Like, I can be extremely polite and nice and complimentary, but still be fucking rubbing your face in some shit. Like, that is one of those traits that is central to my skills right there. And so with this right here, you could just see people being a lot more stubborn in their opinion and being a little bit more closed-minded than they usually would be. And then also understand, Mercury is square the Black Moon Lilith in Leo right now. And a lot of people aren't talking about that, but that is something that we're going to deal with probably for the next 3 days, 4 days. And with Mercury square to Lilith, and this being Taurus and Leo, hey, motherfuckers get prideful. Motherfuckers ain't trying to hear what other people are trying to say. People can kind of really get stuck in opinions that they themselves really don't believe. They're just in it for the drama. Motherfuckers arguing just to argue. This right here is a fixed square. So it's the stubbornness that's going to get in the way. With Lilith being there, it's the pride of Leo energy getting into the way. You goddamn right, reflection. Vi. Anyway, yeah. Don't get me started. I feel a lot better, my bro. I'm still having some minor cramping, you know, for moments throughout the day, but I'm not in pain. You know, using the restroom regularly, everything's all right. I'll be all right. Things are slowly improving. It's taking a long time, but things are slowly improving. And I've also found that with me, I stress and obsess, and that just triggers digestive issues, period. So as long as I'm stressing and obsessing, I feel like shit. But the minute that I get out and go play basketball or go to the lake or do something like that, which I've done here in the last week or so, I have felt exponentially better. I felt fine, perfectly fine. You know, so a lot of it is mental stuff. A lot of it is the stress that I'm putting on myself, triggering problems. But I also, you know, have stressed myself probably into an ulcer or a few ulcers. And I already had IBS. So those two right there are just going to have, you know, have those things that trigger each other. And they're both going to be triggered by stress and by mental anxiety that I put on myself. So I have to chill the fuck out. Like, I have to chill the fuck out. And I've been able to chill for longer moments throughout the days. And like I said, overall, I've felt a lot better. So that has a lot to do with it. And Brownie, you said what natal aspects could cause digestive issues? Well, really, I would use stuff with the 6th house and stuff with Cancer and Virgo and Taurus, and maybe Jupiter would always, wherever Jupiter is, like for me, Jupiter is in my 6th house. So overindulgence and all of that type of stuff is the only problem that I really have health-wise. Is the stuff that's triggered by either my addictions with substances or me overindulging and not eating properly, or me taking things for granted and ignoring things. So, you know, lesson learned. Like, I've had to, especially it's ironic that it's Saturn, because I've had to completely overhaul the way that I ate and all of my habits. Like, I completely quit caffeine. I do not drink anything with caffeine, and I might have drinking a soda 2 or 3 times in the last 3 weeks. I drink nothing but water. You know, I cut out a lot of that fat, a lot of that fried and fat stuff that I eat. You know, I used to eat fried potatoes with every freaking meal. And like I said, I'm the type of person that I will eat myself into gluttony till I'm extremely full of fried food every night. And then I'll just pass out immediately. Or I would eat and drink wine. Or I would not eat at all. And because I wanted to take a caffeine pill so I could stay up and work, or stay up and have time to myself, playing my game, or doing or messing with music, or doing something like that. Like, it just, there's those habits I have, or so. And then so me doing that, me sitting there taking Tylenol, ibuprofen, and aspirin all at the same time, me drinking wine 24/7, me taking caffeine pills and drinking those 300 milligram caffeine drinks on empty stomachs, me just not eating healthily. So all of that stuff, and then stressing constantly. As soon as my sister passed and the legal issues I had, and then I like had worries about health issues before I even had an actual health issue or a pain that psychosomatically triggered real problems. Like I sat there and obsessed and worried about myself having issues to the point where I made myself have an issue. And then I still sit here and do it because in the PrIcElEs and the tropical system, Saturn is in my 5th house conjunct to my moon right now. But next year, it's going to go into my 6th house. And if we're looking at whole sign or equal house or all of that, it's in my 6th house. And so all of that, the worrying, the stressing, the fear, it is making me manifest the exact stuff that I'm worried about. So that's kind of what's going on with that. But overall, like I said, through ruling out stuff and through, you know, symptom evaluation and me going to the emergency room, and I don't have the money to pay for an endoscopy, so they could not make a determinative, an exact diagnosis because I couldn't have been put to sleep right there, and I'd have to schedule an endoscopy on my own and pay for it because there wasn't something that was required as far as an emergency in their opinion at that point. So any of that or colonoscopy or any of that I have to do on my own, but I don't have those type of symptoms. I'm not exhausted or fatigued. You know what I'm saying? I don't have, not to gross anybody out, blood or anything in bowel movements. I have regular bowel movements and all that other stuff. I eat normally. I'm not throwing up. I'm not nauseous. I'm not full after only eating a little bit of food. I have cramps up here in my stomach or a burning sensation like an ulcer, which is probably or in several places, which comes from me eating nasty food, drinking wine, and doing nothing but stressing and then sleeping on that shit. Or not sleeping, staying up all night on fucking nothing but caffeine pills. So I had to address all of my habits. Alcohol will never be a part of my life again. I don't care. Alcohol just I can't do it. The food, I have to eat differently. Fact of the matter is, I'm gonna be 37 in less than a month now. So I have to look at myself way, way differently from this point forth. And so this is just making me, if anything, the fear is making me super aware of things, which is a part of the Sati process in Vedic astrology. Is the fear kind of makes you uber aware of things. And so me being uber aware of things, through that, it kind of makes me not only have issues, but it also makes me want to correct those issues. Like I said, if I wasn't scared or if I didn't, I would have went to the emergency room and I hadn't seen a doctor in 4 years. I would have sat here and stressed until I had a heart attack or a stroke or something. Shit. When I got to the emergency room, my blood pressure was like, I forgot, 180 or 170 something over 100 something. So it was high. And that's before anything else. They were worried about my blood pressure. Like they weren't worried about what stomach cramp issues I had and all that shit because I was functioning fine. They were like, bro, your blood pressure is high as hell. Like you need to sit the fuck down and chill the fuck out. You're not dying. They sent me home with a paper that says, we have determined that there is nothing terminally wrong and there is no reason to believe that there is any medical emergencies going on. There is abdominal cramps, possible this. Consult your primary care physician for your digestive issues or for your blood pressure. The blood pressure is a concern. I've been sick, Francisco. Well, not sick, I just haven't been eating the same. But there was a while there for the last few weeks where I just haven't, and I cut my beard off and all of that shit. I'm getting my weight back up, but yeah, I've lost about 10 pounds or so. I looked worse last week. But we good, actually. We doing a lot better. what's been going on, and I really just don't even need to address it anymore, because talking about it, like, that makes it worse. I just need to enjoy life and not think about it, stress about that shit. Because the more I obsess and stress about it, the worse it is. And when I'm not worried about it, I feel great. Like, I catch myself for moments be like, man, I feel fucking great. And then other times I'll be like, oh shit, what's going on? This has to be terminal. So yeah, all of that. But and I also used to, if we're being honest, like, I usually do all kinds of push-ups and had just worked out every time I come live, so my muscles was all puffed up and I ain't got a shirt on and all that shit. So there's also that, bro. But there's also a lot of people that are developing intolerances to gluten right now. People that didn't have those problems, like, they're coming up with celiac disease now and having those intolerances to gluten. And so that's a result of them putting that motherfucking vaccine in your ass. I shouldn't have got that fucking Johnson & Johnson cheap ass vaccine. Motherfucker put some cow DNA in me. I now have 4 stomachs. But nah. That's the issue. But I haven't lost a lot of weight. Not too much. Not yet. And I'm gonna creep back. Now, back to the transits. We have Venus. Venus is now at 24 degrees of Cancer. And with this right here, I would just say that if you care about somebody, show them. Not just tell them. We'll get to that when we get to Leo. Show them. Be there for them. Care for them. And the thing is, you can't let that fear of rejection get in the way of you really expressing how you feel. Okay? See, with Venus in Cancer, there's also this thing where people can kind of tend to settle for less because they would rather stay within that comfort zone. But you have to learn how to be comfortable with yourself, and then you can deal with anybody, anywhere. Like, that's what you gotta do. So, just don't get caught up in the past either. It's okay to reminisce. It's okay to have fond memories, but you can't dwell in it. See, the only problem with Venus in Cancer is this maudlin dwelling on the past. So, you need to channel the nurturer in you. Alright? Now, Mars. Mars is degrees of Leo. And with Mars at 5 degrees of Leo. See, the best way to approach anything that you really want is as if it's already yours. When I see Mars in Leo, I see that thing spinning in Tony Montana's house that says the world is yours. It is yours. If you want something right now, you need to approach it as if it was already yours. Cosmic Rose. No, Venus in Cancer doesn't make the first move. Venus in Cancer is going to operate like that crab. They're going to wait in the cut till they get that for show sign. Till you're within grasp. And then they're going to grab you. Keep you. Yeah. We talking about to have and to hold. Now, let's go ahead and talk about the bad traits of Mars in Leo, because there are a couple. See, with Mars in Leo, you can get caught up putting a lot of energy into the appearance of things. You feel me? And then you can lose command of the field. So make sure you're keeping in touch with the details. Make sure you're not acting immaturely. All right. But other than that, be bold. Be proud. Keep it ostentatious. Yeah. Yeah. You got the audacity. You got the motherfucking audacity. What you gonna do with it? Yeah. Now, Jupiter. Jupiter is now at 3 degrees of Taurus. And see, Jupiter is exactly conjunct the North Node, or Rahu, for those that keep up with the Vedic principle. But let me tell y'all something right now. For those people like myself that even when addressing Western astrology call the North Node Rahu, I think that the more that I become knowledgeable in the separation of the two, I think you have to not call it that. So if we're dealing with Western astrology and we're talking about anything that has to do with Western astrology, we're just going to call it the North Node from now on if we can. Because Rahu in the Vedic principle has a whole different energetic expression than the North Node does in Western. Even though Rahu is the North Node, Rahu has some energetic traits that are similar to Uranus in certain ways. Rahu has a whole personality of its own, besides the traits of the North Node bringing that to an individual. Rahu as an energy has its own expression, whereas the North Node in Western is an expression that you're trying to come into. And so when we're looking at Jupiter being conjunct to the North Node, this means destiny is involved. This means whatever you're manifesting, whatever you're getting right now, whatever you're accumulating right now is something that you're supposed to have. It's something you're supposed to have. See, this right here means whatever the universe puts in your lap right now, whatever Taurus allows you to build, it was going to be yours to begin with. You have to cherish it. But this also means you have to learn how to cherish your peace. This can bring you big time peace in your life. But you have to be at peace to have peace. And that takes willingness. That's where the North Node is involved. See, chaos, that's the way of the world. The world is a dark and dangerous and fucked up place. But there is refuge. There is safety. But you have to find that peace within self. See, this right here happens to be opposite my Pluto. My Pluto is at 4 degrees of Scorpio in my 8th house. Not my first house. I said my 8th house. Jupiter's about to be my 8th house. I got that all mixed up. I said that confident in a motherfucker, but in my first house, as we all know, Pluto is at 4 degrees of Scorpio in my first house. So this is in my 7th house. And like I've told y'all, I've had to really value my personal relationships with people on a different level here lately. And no matter how strong I am personally, there's just certain stuff that I could have never done alone. I could have never done it alone. For real. And there's several of y'all that helped me so much. And you know who you are. Now, Jupiter in Taurus. See, this right here, not only is it the place where you just chill and let your blessings accumulate, but it's also the place where you count your blessings. And we'll get to that more when we get to the retrograde period here in a few months, or here in about a month and a half or so. But right here, this is just a point where if you can chill and be still, you actually could see things really start to stack up and accumulate. You can see blessings on top of blessings on top of blessings on top of blessings because you were doing too much to even notice it before. It's not that they weren't there. Maybe it's because you didn't appreciate it. See, that's another thing about Taurus, is appreciation. See, there are certain things in this world, whether it be material things or emotional connections, that appreciate with value. You got to value your peace. Because with peace comes gratitude. From gratitude comes tranquility. From tranquility, everything else flows in. I need everybody to hit the like button if you haven't yet. Like, right now. Yeah. Now, Saturn is now at 6 degrees of Pisces. And, by the time we talk, it'll be at 7 degrees of Pisces. And Saturn is actually about to creep into that retrograde shadow phase. Saturn already moves slow, but Saturn's fixing to move to a standstill. Saturn is gonna get to like Well, it's going to get to 7 degrees, but it's not going to get more than a week or two past 7 degrees, and then it's going to station, and then it's going to retrograde there in mid-June or at the end of June. But it's stationing at 7 degrees for like a whole month. And oh man. This is gonna be fun. But with Saturn in Pisces, as y'all know, people are going through it. You might even be going through it. I'm going through it. But in us going through it, we are once again reminded that there's some things that you have to deal with, and life is hard. So, with life being hard, you can start to have compassion for your fellow man. I'm hurting, you hurting too. Like, every day, I look at things and I'm just like, besides how I feel physically, I'm just kind of like, man, like, how can this go on much further without something happening? And the thing about manifestation and devastation is when you're waiting for devastation, you can manifest it, like I was saying. And this is Pisces. So us as a people, we are kind of getting to a point where the shit that we've kind of seen and experienced during this Neptune and Pisces culture, a lot of that shit now is becoming like appalling. You're like, even with yourself sometimes, you catch yourself saying, and I do it all the time, like you catch yourself doing or saying some stuff or indulging in some stuff, and you be like, man, this shit is stupid. Like, what the fuck? And there's a moment of confusion. And it's like, you have to check yourself. You have to get back to reality. Like, a lot of people have built up some facades or some fantasies, myself included, whether it be consciously or subconsciously through ignoring things. And so those fantasies now are gonna be addressed in a way that is sobering to say the least. Like, there's a lot of people that wherever they have Pisces in their chart, they're seeing things a little bit more harsh. There's a little bit of hesitancy, and in some places even fear involved. I have a former client of mine, and I've spoken to her, so she doesn't care about me speaking of this, who she is going through both a Saturn return here within the next year or so, and the Saturn coming into a conjunction with her moon, because her moon and Saturn are both in Pisces in her 4th house. And she's a Scorpio rising. But what's crazy is she has one of her family members who has now become a law enforcement officer, and she kind of lives more of a outlandish and free lifestyle herself. And so now she feels like she can't even trust her family member. And they actually went to they go to, you know, therapy and things like that together, but now she feels like she can't even trust those people. She feels like she can't fuck with her family. She feels like she can't speak freely around her family because now she feels like she's under investigation by her family member, which is not true. And it's not my business to speak on it, but like, it's just not true. It's just not true. It's that fear that is causing the separation. It's not an actual separation. But now there is going to be a separation because that fear is causing and manifesting a separation. You see how Saturn in Pisces works for people now? The past and fears of stuff that went on in the past end up having too much of an influence over the present moment and your projections onto the future, and it causes a gloomy outlook. But everything that's going on and all of those fears, they are relevant until you address them, and you either transmute them or you take care of them or deal with them in a way that is active and direct. And through that comes a spiritual maturity and a belief in yourself that is indomitable. But, man, there's a lot of shit, whether it be me with my fear and me with my health issues, or them with their family stuff, or people who are, you know, depressed and they feel like they don't really have any friends, or people who feel like the people that they've been involved in their relationships ain't shit, or they're seeing people for who they really are in their relationships, and it's like, God damn, like, this is not what I needed, and this is not what I expected, and so that brings about just this gloomy outlook. But then there's also this thing where me and these people and people all over the world are seeing people like, man, this Saturn in Pisces ain't no fucking joke. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, you kind of be like, man, you know what? I'm not the only one going through it. Like, even in a negative sense, like, I will have those health issues and I'll be sitting up worrying, and then I can remember friends of mine that have died years ago, people that I grew up with that died 15 years ago when they were way too young to die. And then I see people that are sick and way worse off than I am, you know, as far as their health, or people that have stuff going, like real stuff going on, people that have real concerns. And seeing that, in some ways, not only do I have, through having compassion for them, but it makes me feel better. Like, man, I'm not being punished. No, nobody's doing anything to me. This is a part of life. It's a part of the experience. I am not going to be able to escape human life by living in a fucking fantasy land and avoiding things in my day-to-day experiences. You cannot have issues with your family because you have a fear in your mind of something that does not even exist. You cannot have hate in your heart or have resentment towards somebody for something in the past when it's not even affecting them. It's only affecting you. Like, there's a whole bunch of stuff with that where you have to address it, or it manifests through these fears that end up really, really being oppressive for you. But only you can do something about that. Now, let's talk about Uranus. And let me change the beat right there, because this one is, I don't know what's wrong with the volume on this one right here. I gotta go in and fix the levels on that. Now, Uranus is now at 20 degrees of Taurus. So Uranus is moving. And I'm just glad it's away from 19 degrees. I'll deal with it again when it's in retrograde, but I'm just glad it's away from 19 degrees with my shit. I actually have Uranus coming into a trine with my Mars. You know, even in my 8th house. It's in my 8th house, so I've been dancing anyway. Living dangerous anyway. But in a safe way.
This is Taurus. But
with Uranus at 20 degrees of Taurus, look, man, you should know by now that you can expect stability. With the way that things are, financial stability, that's a hard thing to grasp. Even look at people like Ja Morant. Now, he's fine, but through missing just 6 games last year, he missed out on $40 million, almost $39 million. With him missing however much time from the choices that he made this year, and through what happened with him, he's probably gonna miss out on $50, $60 million. He's losing an endorsement with Nike that's hundreds of millions of dollars. You see, the times we're in, there is no guarantee. We could go into a war tomorrow and the nature of business would change dramatically. Somebody could invent a new app tomorrow and the nature of business could change dramatically. A certain figure could die in one of these prominent world leader countries tomorrow and it would shake the financial market. There could be a trend or a lie that if it gains enough traction, it can sway the financial market. Like the times that we're in, they are incredibly, incredibly frustrating and unstable. See, that's why Uranus is going to fall in Taurus. And that's why the moon is exalted in Taurus. The moon is exalted in Taurus because it's the most stable place in the zodiac. It's safe. It's the calmest place to be. But see, Uranus isn't calm. Uranus raises the vibration of everything it comes in contact with. It brings jolts of electricity wherever the fuck it goes. And so stability is getting a whole new definition. Security is something that you can't take for granted. And so what you have to do is look for unique ways that you can profit personally. Because that's out there now. Because the nature of business has changed. Because all of this stuff is different. What are we rolling our eyes for? Miss Q? But because the nature of business has changed, because of the way of the world, because of all of that, what you gonna see is unique ways that you can come up on your own. Like now, there are all types of ways that people can make money. Every person is a brand in and of their self. Whether through your social media profile or through your creative endeavors or whatever you have going on. Every person now is a brand in and of themselves. Back then, people watched TV shows. There were celebrities that you tuned in to see. Now, people watch Facebook reels. People watch YouTube videos. People watch this type of, like they have normal people that they are investing in, the common man. And everyone has their own individual interests and things they enjoy, which is also it's just also where we're like, hey, whether it be from Neptune and Pisces or Uranus and Taurus, like the things that people enjoy, people's unique creative talents, all of that, it gives them ways that they can profit personally. So it doesn't mean that because we are in crazy ass, shaky ass financial times that everybody has to be broke, because actually the common man has more money than ever before. Whether it be through morally acceptable or morally gracious things, or through, you know, backroom deals and crazy stuff on the back line. Like, there's so much stuff. Like, they didn't have scamming the way that they have scamming 10 years ago. Not even 5 years ago, really. They had it, but not like it is now. Not like it is now. There were very few people that were into that hustle, but now that's a whole new bracket. It's not just dope dealers and robbers and jackers and people that, you know, are just normal thieves. You got people that are scanning cards. You got people that are scanning bank accounts. You got people that really is hacking shit, and people that scamming the shit out your ass, calling you and getting into your shit through calling you and activating your phone. Like, for real. Like, you had telemarketers before that were just trying to sell you something, and they were actually just trying to make an honest buck. Now you got a whole new bracket. Like, there are so many unique ways that people can make money that is crazy. But it's also because the market is so fucked up and unstable. Like, that's true. And then, hold up, homie. And I'm sitting here looking at myself in this camera. Before I go any further, I ain't lost that much weight. I've actually gained some back. Yeah. But, let me get off Saturn for a minute. I mean, yeah, Uranus for a minute. Let me go on to Neptune, right? And so Neptune is at 27 degrees of Pisces. And man, once again, yesterday, I'm at the lake yesterday, right? Police swoop up in there. And they're going to, I don't know what's going on, ambulance, fire truck. First the police came, a whole bunch of police, and then ambulance and fire trucks and all that shit came, right? But I'm trying to be nosy, so I walk my dog over there to try to go see what's going on, to see what's happening. So I'm being nosy. I'm going over there to see what's up. And hold up, this shit is crooked. And then so when I get around the corner, the first thing I see is 10. I couldn't see anything that's happening. I just see 10 people standing around whatever's happening, holding their phones up. They all, boo. They all in just looking. You know, they, and I'm like, dog, like, this is where we're at as a culture. Like, everybody is stuck in their own la-la land. And everybody's own delusions are influencing other people's delusion. They're projecting their delusions onto the next person. And if you're not spiritually aware, or if you're not somebody who is strong enough in your own energy not to notice it, it's easy for you to get caught up in everybody's bullshit and do the same shit everybody else does. Like, everything is so trendy now, you know? And that is definitely a Pisces thing. Like, motherfuckers just go with the flow. And then there's also this fake sense of compassion. Not just the shit with pictures and videos that people are doing, but also there's this shit where people are just like, they don't want you to bully, but that in itself is a whole bullying campaign. Like, as soon as you say something or disagree with somebody, you have 35 hound dogs on your ass calling you a bully and saying that you're being abusive, or, you know, like, that's what happens. Like, as soon as you decide that, you know, you're not gonna deal with somebody's energy anymore, or as soon as you decide to look out for you a little bit, then you're a narcissist. Like, not any of us. Not me, not you, not your homegirl, not your partner. None of us in this chat right now, and very few that might see it, are qualified to diagnose someone with narcissistic personality disorder. And to be a true narcissist, that takes a clinical diagnosis. Period. Your sorry ass ex is not a narcissist. They just sorry than a motherfucker. Maybe a little immature. Maybe nobody told them right. Maybe they just trash. Like, you could be trash without being a narcissist. You're giving these motherfuckers too much credit. Maybe you're just gullible. Maybe you're stuck in a victim mentality. Maybe they ain't shit, but you like playing the victim. That's the role you like playing in this Neptune and Pisces culture. Like, everybody's playing a role. Everybody's caught up in the label. They're forgetting about the internal. And it's there. There is actual compassion out here. There is actual spirituality out here. There are beautiful and healing energies out here, but people are too caught up in the labels. I'm talking to somebody yesterday, and I forgot what it was about. But I was really debating or arguing with them, but it was something that had to do with astrology. And I don't know what I was saying. I can't even remember now, really. But they proceeded to tell me that I didn't know what the fuck I was talking about. And they knew the only reason that they knew what they were talking about is because they are connected to source, and they are some type of starseed, and their spirit guide told them that they have direct access to the Akashic records, and not everybody gets that type of clearance. That was her exact words. Like, we're at fucking Sam's Club. This motherfucker said, my spirit guide told me that I was actually gonna be given direct access to the Akashic records, and not everybody's gonna get the type of clearance to see everything and get the knowledge that I have. And so I know it. And I'm like, I said, you know what you need? Prozac. Haldol. Like, you need something to get your motherfucking self right, because you have mental issues. Like, you might be spiritually gifted, because a lot of people that have that type of stuff are, but you're too caught up in the bullshit to really get the message that you need. Like, you sitting up here telling me, who you don't even know, and you're assuming that because of how I look, and you're assuming it because I'm a guy, that I'm not somebody who is directly and divinely connected, or somebody who myself is gifted in ways that I try not to name, because I don't know what to call it, because I don't give a fuck about the labels. Sometimes I just think I'm crazy. Like, I've asked my guides or whatever it was that I was having these communications with before. Like, I said, man, am I crazy? And they said, yes, you're crazy and a motherfucker. But that doesn't mean this isn't real. That was the exact answer I got. Like I'm in a zone and I'm getting these messages and this communication, and I said, man, hold up. Hold the fuck up. Am I fucking crazy? And that motherfucker said, yes, you are. But that doesn't mean that this isn't real. And so I was like, oh shit. But it's like in this Neptune and Pisces culture, people are caught up in titles and in the image of things instead of the true compassion and message that's behind it. If you're a starseed, if you're this spiritual person, you're here to help people and you're here to spread truth and knowledge, not spend so much time telling people what the fuck you are or trying to convince people that's what you are. Like, that's dumb. You're here to prepare the world for something. You have spiritual gifts because we are in an energetic shift. It's obvious. We do have a crazy, turbulent time coming up in the world if you're able to read charts. You can see that. We're about to have a whole bunch of fucking Aries shit going on here. We finna go to war. There's finna to be a big-ass war. And it's not just me making a prediction. It's like, that shit is almost undeniable. There's no other way for us to go as a people. Like, there's so much fucking stuff going on that people don't realize that, like, hey, us as a people can't go on like this much further. There has to be something that happens, even if it's not a war. There has to be something that happens that changes this shit. To make people think differently. To make people be differently. Like, you see people comfortable with guns that it doesn't even make sense. Rebecca from River Oaks. She talking about Rashid, let me hold a pistol. Like that shit's crazy. Schools getting shot up. The oppression. It's not just racial inequality. Now it's gender hate. Now there's this man versus women thing where, you know what I'm saying? Where that shit has just gotten really out of hand. Where because men have been trifling for so long, women have built up this resentment towards men. And they have this fake facade of masculinity in their brain that a lot of them have built up to where they think masculinity means aggression. And then dudes are just acting more and more like bitches. Like, that's how it goes. Like, it's plain and simple. And somebody had to say it. And then people get so caught up with their title, or people get so caught up in their movement that they're forgetting about the message. They're forgetting about what it's really about. When it comes to sexual orientation, you have people that will try to bait you into them saying one way or the other, whether it be straight people or whether it be people that have a different orientation. You have straight people that they're trying to force this on us and this and this and this. And then you have people that have a different orientation who say, oh, you're going to call me this. You're going to make sure I'm this. What I want to be called is important. When that doesn't really matter. What is important is you are a human being and you should be loved and treated equally respectful as everyone else. Like, that's what matters. That's what matters. What matters is people are showing compassion and being loving and respectful to each other. It doesn't matter that you have a movement that you want people to respect, whether it be one way or the other. The fact of the matter is, this should be a human movement where we all should be loving and respecting each other because it's common fucking decency. Regardless of who you fucking. That's the problem. People are caught up in the image. Like, that's the thing. Like, you're so caught up that you force children to do the exact thing that you're saying you're not. My child, I want to be free. But okay, then let them be a child and let them be who they are and what they are as they evolve. I have plenty of straight family members. I have plenty of family members that aren't straight. I have family members that have been through transition and they're doing their thing. I have family members that would never even dare because they don't believe that that's correct. So I have actually seen it from all sides of the spectrum. I have a cousin that it doesn't matter what was going to happen. We knew from the time he was 1 or 2 years old that he was gonna be gay, or he was very effeminate, and that was a part of who he is. And he, at his time, he felt uncomfortable in his skin. He decided to transition into a she, and now I love him and respect him or her and treat them the way that they want to be treated. And if he, as many times as he's reminded me, hey bro, don't call me, or hey, don't do that, I am respectful of it every time. I'm never resentful for it. And you shouldn't be. If somebody asks you to respect them, don't be resentful of it. Just respect them. It's not a big deal. It's only a big deal if you allow it to be. I have many times where I've said something and he's like, hey bro, like, nah, and it's not something I have to say, hey, I apologize, I respect it. And because I understand that it's nothing to love and respect someone. Like, I also have family members who, if they do not want that type of energy around them, they don't want it around them. And I cannot hate them for that. All I can do is hope that they can be open-minded and loving enough that they can take a step back in their own stuff and be able to accept people on their own terms, because they're not doing anything but making themselves upset and putting a weight on their own shoulders, because they're not going to stop anybody from being who they are. They're not, and they're not doing anything but keeping people distant from them. But there's also people that they feel a certain type of way, so they feel like because their preference, they're going to make sure that that you're going to, you know, feel their pain that they've been through from people not accepting them. So it doesn't matter if you have been real or fake, or it doesn't matter if anything. Like, the fact of the matter is, for them, they feel like people are judging them negatively, and so they have a certain anger and resentment that they've built up to where now they feel like they have to constantly defend themselves. And for them, the best defense is a good offense. So they're going to stay and keep people on their toes, and they're going to be super aggressive or super agitated with people, because they feel like that keeps people from seeing that, hey, I feel different than other people. So what you have to do is, once again, learn to love every person, as a human being fundamentally. And then the rest of that shit doesn't fucking matter. But the problem is, with this Neptune and Pisces culture, people are caught up in the labels. Everybody's caught up in the appearance of things. Everybody wants to be this or that. I'm not this, I'm that. Or I'm this, I'm that. And that shit doesn't matter. You're a human being. You're a human being. Even if you're a starseed and you've lived 1,000 other lifetimes on other planets, you are on Earth now. Your ass is a human being. If you got RH negative blood type, you are a human being. Hold on, somebody sent me something. Let me see what this is. But yeah, like, you just have to learn how to let people be people by loving yourself and loving people enough and having compassion at a fundamental sense. And that's what the world is missing. That's why there's confusion. That's why there's a problem. That's where the Neptune and Pisces culture has built up a bunch of bullshit. And then you also have people that are so caught up in labels with other things. You have people who want to be called an astrologer or an astrologist or a spiritualist or a psychic or an empath or a Hayoka empath, or I'm clairvoyant, or I'm clairaudient, or I'm clairsentient, or I'm there, I'm this, I'm that. And those all are traits. Those are not titles. It's not a label, it is a trait, it is a gift. It's not who you are, it's a part of who you are. It's a tool or a gift that you've been given to help you through this experience of being who the fuck you really are. That's the thing. Everybody wants to be this or be that, and everybody has to fall under some label. When the fact of the matter is, most people are a multitude and a mixture of a lot of different things. And in this day and age, most people are confused. Yeah, I'm on my shit today. Now, Pluto. Pluto's retrograde at 0 degrees of Aquarius. And with Pluto sitting there like that, let's just say for a minute that you've been stuck in a certain way. You've been stuck in a certain mentality or mindset for a long time. Well, guess what? That's about to change. It is changing. And it's going to change more. If not on your own, but by brute force. See, we're going to go back into Capricorn. And as Pluto goes back into Capricorn, you're going to see people start to stress a little bit more. It's going to seem like things are getting tough again. Over the summer, gas is going to get high again because that's what happens in the summer, or it might get low. It depends on what, I mean, I would say it might, but something is going to happen to where people are a little bit stressed. People are a little bit worried. And that can make people fall back into certain survival mode behaviors. It's going to feel like, oh man, here this shit is. And it makes people go back. But the thing is, as we go into Aquarius for real, when Pluto really gets into Aquarius, there's going to be a lot of people that get mind fucked. It's happened to me several times recently because this is opposite to my Mercury. And then I have Pluto come into a square with my Pluto next year. So with that, I kind of see, oh man, like, I get in my own way. I be thinking I know everything. I don't know shit. I don't know how many times here recently I have been having a conversation with somebody and I have judged them prematurely, or I have judged the conversation prematurely because of something they posted or something they were saying in a comment, only to get a rude awakening. Like, nah, that person isn't dumb. That person is actually probably just as knowledgeable or more knowledgeable than me myself. Their ass just isn't caught up in trying to flex it like I am. Look at me trying to flex and now I done got humbled. It happens. It's happened to me several times. Like, there's a lady, and I don't want to say her name because she doesn't give me permission, but she does things on Twitter and she does things on Facebook sometimes, and she makes memes, and sometimes she'll say something I don't agree with. And I saw one thing that probably triggered me a long time ago, and it triggered me, but as soon as I saw that, my Mercury and Leo mind automatically ruled her out from being knowledgeable at all in astrology. I was like, man, she don't know what the fuck she's talking about. And so after that, it didn't matter what she posted. Like, I'm gonna hit that laugh reaction emoji on it, or I'm just, you know what I mean, I'm just gonna look at it, roll my eyes, keep scrolling, or I'm gonna go on there and directly even contradict what she's saying, depends on it. And the fact of the matter is, it's me and my pompousness and my stubborn mindset that missed out. And then when I was confronted with it and actually had the conversation with this individual, I ended up being humbled. Like I said, I ended up having a conversation, and like, I made a judgment off a 3-sentence meme or a 2-sentence meme, a 25-word meme. I made a determination of a person's whole character and knowledge. And now look at me having to humble myself. And so you could really see with this right here, you being forced to look at things differently or to approach things differently, especially from a mental standpoint. You also might be forced to try different things until you find out what's for you, because the old way that you used to do things just won't apply or it won't work. And then you have to be empirical to find out what really will work for you. And so that right there in itself, not only does it make you more intelligent and adaptable, but it also shows you your own unique ways of handling things, and it gives you a whole different unique approach to problem solving and to dealing with people. And for me, you know, this is on my 4th and 10th house axis. It helps me actually improve my relations with the public through dealing with my own stubbornness inside. So that is big. And then what else we got? We got Chiron at 18 degrees of Aries. And the moon will oppose Chiron here in a couple of hours. So I am telling you that in your relationships, your personal relationships, you might see an opportunity for you to either be straight up about something that you might have been holding back, and that will help y'all get healing, even if it causes a conflict or a confrontation at first. Or you could also see something brought into your awareness where you realize this shit is your fault. Whatever's going on, whatever miscommunication or whatever problem that you have in this personal issue with somebody, it's your fault. And through you accepting that, y'all are able to move forward. All right. And then the Black Moon Lilith is at 15 degrees of Leo. And once again, that right there is just... that's people being characters. Like, man, you're going to see people showing they ass right now. You could even see people blowing things out of proportion. Like, you will get a reaction that is not conducive to the issue. You see people doing things for the show of it with this. But the thing is, you have to find true confidence within. And when you find true confidence within, it frees you. And that's all Lilith wants to do. But you do have to work out those traits that are kind of central to the problems in your life in order for you to get to that power and exhilaration. See, you might have to get your hands dirty. For The nodes are at 3 degrees of Taurus and Scorpio. And we kind of already talked about what's going on with the North Node because it's conjunct to Jupiter. But hey, this is telling you that we all have a certain chaos within us. We all do. And we all have a certain amount of power that comes from that chaos that we've been through and those things that we don't necessarily have to speak on. But the thing is, there is, once again, refuge. There is a chance for you to chill out and choose not to indulge in that. There is a safe place. When you realize that, like I've said a million times as the North Node has been in Taurus, there is no such thing as a life that's better than yours. J. Cole said it best. You got to love yours. Value your life. Value and appreciate the people in your life. Enjoy it. Indulge, use, create with it. Because as the North Node begins to ingress into Aries, you might have to fight for it. You might have to fucking fight for it. For real. And Rebecca Webb, you said, isn't the 18th degree in any sign considered bad or evil? I'm not somebody who gets into those critical degree theories. It's not critical. It could be, but I don't see it as being so because it's not really a prominently critical degree. So I don't really look at the 18th degree. I only pay attention to critical degrees, to be honest with you. Like I really don't let myself get too caught up in because I do so much with astrology that for me, I'm not going to place a extra significance on each degree. But as I was saying, if you even want to look at that, as I said, with this opposition between the moon and Chiron, there might be people feeling some type of way that could cause an argument or a debate or something going on within our personal relationships that are going to cause us or give us an opportunity for healing in a multitude of ways, depending on what's going on with each person individually. And so only through accountability and action are you going to see things be able to get better, or are you going to be able to process your emotions in a better way. For me, I say it's going to be in relationships because this happens to fall on my 1st and 7th house axis, right there on my ascendant. My ascendant is 16 degrees of Libra. And so I would have this opposition falling right there within 2 degrees of my ascendant and descendant axis in my 1st and 7th house. So that just would mean for me personally, this would play out within my relationship here at home. But it also kind of, for some people, could just point to, their impulses and their hesitancy. Like it could even fall with other people that, their indecisiveness and their assertiveness needs to be addressed. So it's not just going to be strictly within your relationships. It could be in all types of situations that transport out from there. For real. Now, as far as numerology goes, we are in a 6 energy today. All right? And that means it's a chill type of day. The 6 is domestic. It's nurturing. It's definitely that homebody type energy. So I would say be at home with your family tonight or today. It depends on where you're at in the world. And just kind of, if you cook for them and nurture them, or if not, just enjoy some good food. If you want to go out to somewhere that y'all all really enjoy, go out somewhere that y'all enjoy, and just really do whatever you can to make the people in your life feel good. And I'm not just talking about within your personal relationships. I'm talking about your family members. And with the moon in Libra, it is very easy to do that because you do care a lot about how other people feel, because how other people feel is going to be incredibly influential on how you feel. And what's ironic is we're in this sixth energy, and well, the sixth in numerology is connected with Venus. Even though, for me, it's more of a Cancer energy, the six is going to be related to Cancer more than any other sign, whereas the 2 is more like Libra. If you're looking at the planetary influence traditionally, the 2 is ruled by the moon, and the 6 is ruled by Venus. But I would definitely, in my own personal assessment, say that the 2 energy in numerology is a lot more closely related to Libra energy, whereas that 6 is going to be more closely related to Cancer energy. It's a lot like Cancer energy, with the 4 being like Capricorn or Virgo energy, and the 1 being Leo or Aries energy, the 3 being Gemini type, or something that's really fun and kind of gossipy, that 5 being Aquarius, and in certain instances that adaptable energy, and that could be Gemini too in its own way. That 6 and the 7 could be Capricorn too. I've seen a lot of 7s. As a matter of fact, a lot of the Capricorns that I know actually have 7s as far as their life path. So I have seen that too. And because it's very isolating and serious, that 7 is. It's probably the serious one out of all of them. But I would say the 8 is on that Scorpio and Taurus axis. It's about power and boss energy. But there is a lot of money and things involved with that 8. There's a lot of things that come with money, power, and respect, and magnetism and all of that. The 9 is more like Virgo and Sagittarius energy in different ways, both ways. The 9 and Pisces in certain ways too. But I would say that it's very spiritual and it's very humanitarian, but it's also very service oriented, and it's very lucky, the 9 in its own way, because in order to be able to really help people, the 9 is going to be provided with a lot of things that are going to help them help people. And then the 11 is pretty much Pisces energy, I would say. It could be encompassing of a lot of different things, but it could be Libra or Pisces energy, both, that 11. And that 22 is Capricorn, Virgo, that type. And that 33 is very high end Cancerish and high, people that are really, really, really amazing teachers and nurturers at the same time, and people who have those gifts to really tune in to what people need and be able to give them gifts specifically, whereas that 11 might be a little bit more indirect, and that 22 is more creative and more just a little bit more something you're trying to build on. But that's just my perspective. And there is a set way to do it if you're going to do things by the book that is not always the same way that I do it. But yeah. That's there. Miss Blessed, what type of operation did you have? You got the big booty?
No, just I'm sorry.
But nah. You're going to have a healthy recovery, most definitely. So the floor is now open for any questions y'all may have. And understand, I'm going to answer every question that I can to the best of my abilities. But if the questions start coming fast, I could miss a question, or I could, not notice it, but that doesn't mean I ignored you or I skipped you, because I don't ignore or skip anybody intentionally. Ask your question again or hit the super chat, and I will never miss your question. As a matter of fact, hit the super chat anyway, because I'm trying to meet my YouTube quota for the month. And I'm about $20 or $30 off from my quota, and I got to make it. or we'll go live for 8 hours straight tomorrow. But anyway, the floor is now open for any questions y'all may have. And you had an umbilical hernia repair or removal, they say. Well, you're gonna recover just fine. That's the vibe right there. Yeah. I'm the same, Q. I'm an 11 and a 2 at the same time. And just so we know, and I've told y'all this in my numerology videos, just so people know, the 2 or the 20/2 is actually the rarest life path. So people know that. Having a 2 is the rarest of all of the life paths. Not the master numbers, that 2. What's a life path 1 here to do? To figure out what what their traits are best for them to do, to be a leader, and to figure out, you know, their own strengths and their own unique skills and talents that are central to them, and, you know, to be confident in who they are and feel comfortable in their own skin. And that kind of, even if it's not through direct action, that makes other people feel confident in themselves. So it puts that person in their own place, in this space where, you know, people are gonna see that that person has been incredibly influential in their lives. Tigger, you said, isn't the 8 related to Saturn? It can be. I appreciate the love, GB Reloaded. You said, what does it mean when a person has Jupiter and Gemini and it's in the 8th house? It means you're resourceful in a multitude of ways. It means that you are the type of person who is gifted with words in a way that you're very clever. It means, you know, it means that you can finesse with the best of them. It means that you're very sharp. It means that you're the type of person who you can pick up on what people are feeling and express it in ways that they themselves couldn't even express. It means that you're really into darker subjects and you're very sexual. It means that you got a little freak to you. It means that you really like literature to a certain extent. It means that you feel like there is an answer available to every question in the world. There's so much to that. But you can also get spread too thin. Jupiter doesn't do good in Gemini, of course, because it's in detriment there. So, you know, that Jupiter in Gemini can get involved in so many things that it's hard to be blessed in a big way in anything in particular. So, you do have to be careful with that. And I appreciate the love. And Cosmic Rose, you said, how do you charm a Venus in Cancer? You cook for them. You make them feel safe in your presence. You make them feel like you would never reject them. you make it feel like they are somebody who you would be there for no matter what. That's what they want. They want somebody that's never gonna leave them. What'd you ask, Charismatic? Oh. Beats by Bliss Zone Out Music. You said, is there any difference between a birthday 7 and a life path 7? Yes. Your birthday number isn't as going to be influential as your life path, but it does have an effect. And your birthday number is going to be most important between your 28th and your 56th birthday. And your birthday number does have certain traits that are central to your character, but I would also say your life path are things that you're here to develop. Now, your birthday is important in your life path. You have to have your birthday for your life path, so it's a part of who you are. Now, Empress Adele, you said you've got loads in your 8th house. Your North Node is in Aquarius in the 8th house. Your Moon is in the 8th house in Aquarius. Your part of fortune there too. Please enlighten you. Well, I mean, there's with all of that stuff there, like, first of all, you're very secretive and you don't trust anybody, so it's hard for you to get close to people. But you want to help people, and you have an understanding of things that is deeper than anybody else. Like, you just understand stuff. You've always just understood stuff. And it's not just people, it's mechanics. It's the way things work. It's the way the world is. That's things that you understand fundamentally. And with that being there, you understanding things, you can kind of be a unique problem solver for people in ways that nobody else could. So that gives you unique ways that you can profit, but it also gives people unique connections to you. But the problem is you don't trust them. So you really, with that Aquarius there, it's hard for you to let anybody get real close to you. You're detached. And so in that detachment, it gives you the opportunity to help people more, but it kind of keeps you from having certain intimate connections at times. Fine. Cosmic Rose, you said you always try to let him approach you. Is that bad? Venus and Cancer probably ain't going to approach you. They're too scared of rejection. I'll tell you what. I'm not a Venus in Cancer. I'm a Venus in Leo. But I am a Cancer. And I will tell you this, something that I know about Cancer energy and me being a Cancer and me being so strong with it. I'm never going to be the type, no matter how confident I seem, to go holler at a whole bunch of women. Because I am scared of rejection. I thank God that I am endowed with at least a basic handsomeness, you know? And that doesn't mean I think I'm the finest person in the world today. I used to, but I'm trying to get over that. But I can just say that I kind of can be the type of person through my Venus in Leo who puts myself in this position that, like, look at me, I'm available, or you see me, you know, so you could kind of want to come holler at me. But in being a Cancer, the thing is, you just kind of, you're sensitive, and the last thing you want is somebody to reject you or turn you down. So you being afraid of that, like, you look to either make yourself rejection proof, or you wait until you know and you have a sure sign that you're not going to get rejected before you ever say anything. And a lot of times that's not available. So sometimes Cancers settle for less, or they end up in their comfort zone because they end up in a certain comfort zone because they know that that's where they can operate at. They know that, you know, that pond or that fishing hole, they're biting. You get what I'm saying? Unless, you know, something fundamental changes. But yeah, it's that thing that Cancer wants a sure shot. So you're gonna have to either holler at them, or you're gonna have to let them know that you definitely want them to holler at you for a Cancer to ever get at you, because they don't want rejection. Now, Q, you said, how can you use astrology to help you through your depression? You use it by being aware of the traits. Like, you use it by knowing what's causing it. You use astrology to look at the things that are healing and healthy for you. And you also use it to pinpoint what's causing that depression, so that you can understand that that is right there, just a part of the experience, and you can move past it and be grateful for the strength gained from it. I've been through depression more than once. I went through a depression when I was really stressed out here a few months ago, when I had to leave my home. Like, I went through a severe depression. I'm still in that depression and obsession right now. And I'm able to be positive for moments, but I'm still living in it. I went through a depression in 2019. I went through a serious depression in 2019. A depression that, you know, had me even going back into using drugs. I went through a depression one time when I was in prison. I think, and you know what? I'm gonna tell you. I forgot what it was about. It might have been because I didn't make parole the first time, or something. I don't know. But I was in prison and I went through a depression for like 3 weeks. And when I say depression, some people live in depression, but I went through a deep depression where I was in danger of really slipping into something that was actually dangerous to me. And so I was in this true deep depression. But there was this guy, and his name in prison is, I don't know, I forgot his real name, but his name was Third. And we were both gangbangers, so I don't, you know, want to get into all that, but that there was a reason why he was cool with me like that, because I was in our little dorm section of the prison. I was the spokesman for the gang that I was involved in, the Crips on that point, the Crips on that part. And so and that doesn't mean I was in charge. It just means I talked. If there was something that needed to be worked out, or if there was some type of politics going on, I was the person that would go discuss it. I was the person that was like the spokesperson. And so I kind of like, and I already answered your question, Beats by Bless Zone Out Music, but I'll answer it again. I got you. But, and I got you, Miss Bless. I'm going to answer your question. But, I would be in my bed, and I would be there depressed, and I would just be laying there just for days on end. And he would just come up to me every day, no matter what. And he would just, you know, mess with me and hit me and be like, man, get up. Come on, man, get up, bro. Like, you got to get it. Like, come on, man, get up. Get up. You know what I'm saying? He would pull the covers out from under me, and I would get mad, and to the point where I was trying to fight him, but he would just laugh, and he would fight me if I wanted to fight, if I would really hit him or something. But he would just back up away and be like, bro, get up. Like, get up. And if I got up and try to fight him, he'd be like, oh, you got some fight in you. You'll be all right. And he'll walk off and shit like that. Like, he'd do that every day. And now I'm so fucking grateful for that. There was a point then when I was so grateful for it. But, like, eventually him doing that every day, I would find myself looking forward to that shit. You know? And I would look forward to this motherfucker coming, and that's the only thing I could look forward to. But I was looking forward to something. I wasn't in, so I would look forward to him coming over there and hitting me and getting me, you know what I'm saying, getting me up, and it felt good that something or somebody in the universe gave a fuck that I was okay. You know what I'm saying? So that person, even though I don't know where he is in his life or anything like that, I will always be grateful for that, because like I would be in my bed for days on end, just laying there, and I wouldn't even get up. And I might get up and work out beside my bed, but I wouldn't talk to anybody. I wouldn't write letters. I wouldn't do anything, and that's just not my character. I'm a very playful person, as most people know. I'm the type of person who's always talking shit. I'm always playful, and people look forward to me being how I am most of the time. Like I remember when I wasn't at home, my lady and my kids would all tell me, like, the house ain't the same, like the energy is different. Daddy, like, I wasn't here, I wasn't staying here, but they're just like, man, like, it's just not the same. Like, this shit is the energy is off at home. And it's not just because I'm it's because I'm the type of person that I'm gonna make sure that I smile all the time and I dance a little bit, even when I've been feeling the way that I've been feeling. And that's just how I operate. So for him to see me like that, and for me to be where I was at, he just kind of was like, say, cuz, get up, cuz, every day, just, and he would, he would, like I said, snatch, if I was reading a book, or if I was just laying there, he'd come over and pull my pillow, or snatch the book from me, or, and I get pissed. I cuss him out, and try to hit him, and tell him fuck him, and, I would be pissed at first, but, once again, like, that there's something in that breathed life into me. And then those other times, I ended up pulling myself out of it. And this time, I'm trying to pull myself out of it. But all of that right there is just like, you have to know what causes it. And me getting into, my astrology bag and helping other people with their stuff has really helped me. When I took this serious as a business, it's helped me also identify things within myself. And it also gives me a sense of duty and a sense of responsibility to my own healing by knowing the things that I have going on, and to helping others through my acknowledgement of astrology. So with me knowing and having the understanding that I have, and me having the gift that I have with astrology, that just kind of allows me to have a sense of duty and responsibility towards getting better and helping other people be better. And so for you, it could be different, but for me, that's what it's been. Now, Beats by Bless Zone Out Music, you said birthday number 7 and life path 7. Is there any difference? Yeah, your life path is what you're here to develop and the things that you're going to go through. The birthday is going to be traits that are central to you. Like having a 7 means you're a serious person. You're an introvert. You're the type of person who might not really trust a lot of people, and you're the type of person who always wants truth, and you try to rationalize everything. So having a life path 7 means you're here to kind of have a spiritual awakening in a certain sense. You're somebody who's here to find out why you're here. And that journey right there is isolating, because you're going to find out, no matter what distractions are brought before you, that you have a path that's your own and is singular to you, and you have a purpose. You signed up for this. It's like, some people get caught up in the twin flame journey, which is not real. I don't care who believes that here. I'm telling you now, I love you. The twin flame journey is not real. There is no mention of twin flames in the ancient text. Twin flames is a modern day ploy created to sell readings. And when I say twin flames, I'm not talking about soulmates, because soulmates are real, and that's something else. But your lover or your romantic partner doesn't have to be your soulmate. Your enemy, your children, your best friend, other people could be your soulmate. This is somebody that you're connected to from beyond this plane. As far as the definition of a twin flame, where your soul is split into another piece and there's another piece running around that you can be in a relationship and fuck, that's not real. Your soul is your soul, and it is whole and complete on its own. There is not another piece running around that you can fuck and be in a relationship that's going to treat you like shit. Like, that's toxic. That's fucked up. Now, if you look at twin flames in another sense as somebody you're really compatible with, and you feel like that person is somebody that you're connected with and y'all burn together, that's cool. And that's a cool little cliche. But if you're looking at it like your soul is not complete without this other person. You're looking at some fucked up shit. I'm telling you now. You do not need another person to make you complete. You do not need that. Even if you have a 2 or you have your North Node in Libra or something like that, what that means is you're here to have healthy relationships. And for you to have healthy relationships, look on the other end of that. You got to be real with yourself. There has to be a certain straight up with yourself with Aries on the other end of that axis. Astrology is always about axes. And so, yeah, charismatic. Then you motherfucker walk around with half a soul. And you better fuck the other half is waiting to fuck you. Like, no. That right there is not healthy. It's not healthy. Valerie, yeah, you could sell some property during this time. Like, you can be compatible with somebody. You can have a connection with somebody. You can be soulmates with somebody. You could have a muse and inspiration type thing with somebody without them being the other piece of your soul. Now, you can feel like, oh, this is what I've been missing my whole life. But that is satisfaction. That's just satisfaction. It's not another piece of your motherfucking soul. You heard me? It's a lonely world. Run that back. Lonely world. I got niggas calling me skinny in the chat. I'm still 180 pounds, fam. Respectfully. Now, Astro Girl Quay, what are some soulmate indicators? Anytime that you have those North and South Node connections in Synastry, big time. When you have those feelings that like, man, I've done this before. And sometimes it's not always a good feeling. No, I didn't make this right here. Drum Dummy made this. I haven't played any of my beats in a while. But I own these. So owning the rights to these, I can play them without it messing up my money. So that's beautiful in itself. But Brownie, you said, can I tell you about the 10th house ruler, Jupiter, in the 1st house in Cancer? Well, the thing is, Jupiter is exalted in Cancer. So that's beautiful. Probably one of the luckiest places to have it. And I would say that with that being your 10th house ruler, that's going to help other people really fuck with you too. So there's going to be people that really want to, that's one of the main ways you're lucky in life is through other people really helping you succeed, and people want to see you succeed because you have a positive energy. And people also want to see you succeed because you kind of have a certain way of traditional values where you respect other people and you care about other people and you want to see other people win. So all of that shit right there just makes you the type of person that other people want to help, and it makes you the type of person who's willing to help others. So all of that shit is like a gift that keeps on giving. Now, as folk, you said you're a Cancer rising and you really do want world peace. We probably ain't gonna get it anytime in the next 15, 20 years. I mean, we have reached a true boiling point. Look at it like this. You go from Pisces to Aries. Whether it be Neptune, whether it go us going from Saturn, it's like this feeling is there. And then shit heats up. When you let shit sit and you ignore it, especially when you're cooking, man, you turn away to rinse something off in the sink, you turn around, your noodles is boiling over. That's where we're at. It's a lonely motherfucking world. Finna boil your spaghetti. Yeah. Lonely world. Yeah. Turn that down, turn that down, turn that down, turn that down, turn that down. Before I get in trouble. Let me fix this. This shit got quick in here. Anyway. We got about 20 more minutes of questions. So let's make it work for real. All right. Now, what else did I see? I missed somebody's question. Hold on. Ooh. Young God. What's up, young God? What's up, God? Young God, you a 5%er? Do you know about 5%ers? Are you in tune with the supreme mathematics and the supreme knowledge? See, I followed the 5% at one point. You know what I'm saying? I'm one of them people that got that knowledge like that. I can get in that cipher. You understand? About the manifestation of the man, the black man in particular, being God. You understand? Like like when I was locked up, like I was constantly reading. That's what kept me sane. And so that was something that for me, because I'm such an intuitive person, and I'm such the type of person that just gets enamored and obsessed with things when I want to know about something. Like that shit was just something that caught on to me in a fundamental way. So the fact that you have to be in tune with the supreme mathematics with the 5%, and you have to know that supreme knowledge, you have to be able to respond. If somebody checks you about your knowledge, you might get beat up. Somebody could come ask you some questions about knowledge about the universe. And if you are not on point with your knowledge, you might not leave with all of your teeth. And so there was a thing like that. So you could easily with 5%ers just see how certain things can really be helpful, but also it builds up a prejudice mindset. And I respect everybody's beliefs, but it does build up a prejudice mindset. Not just a racist mindset, but a prejudice mindset. Most people have a little bit of racism instilled in them because of the way that they were raised. But prejudice is something else. Yes, 5%ers are kind of similar to Muslims, but it's not, and I don't want to I'm not going to be disrespectful of their knowledge, but it's not the same. It's not the people, it's not like that. 5%ers believe that you as a man, but the black man in particular, and anything that's not white is black, or anything that has any type of mixture to it, other than pure Caucasian from the Caucasus Mountains. So if you have any type of Native American, Hispanic, Oriental, anything, you are considered black. But for them, they have a belief that the black man, you yourself, is God. And that Allah stands for arm, leg, arm, head. Yes, any type of melanin. But Allah stands for arm, leg, arm, head. And you as a man manifested yourself into this reality, and you manifested yourself into the universe, and you yourself are the governor of all energies. And you know, there's a lot of mathematics and scientific and other knowledge to it that I am not gonna give away, because that's something that people have to seek on their own. But there's a lot of knowledge that I myself got about the things that I know from that, as far as dimensions and manifestations and, you know, mathematics and energy and things like that. Now, they're also believed that women, or the females, are called Earths, and they are the embodiment of Earth, and they have their own significance and their own mathematics and way that they are able to produce and create. And so there's just a whole different belief system that comes with that. And I was always a person that I studied Islam. I studied the 5%. I studied Hinduism. I've tried to study Taoism and Stoicism. You know what I'm saying? But I never practiced. I've practiced Christianity. You understand? When I was younger. But I never practiced any of those. I was a student of those practices, but I never practiced those myself, because I have a lack of faith. I have to see something that I can prove. I have Saturn in Sagittarius. You can't just tell me anything. And so I've always had a problem with that. It's because of the things I saw with the church when I was younger, with my grandfather being the pastor of the church, and the things I've explained to y'all. And also with me just having this understanding inherently that religion is a business. Spirituality is something separate. But religion, it has its place. But it, in its own way, is a business, and it has an agenda that is separate from spirituality. And so I understood that from a very early age, and it made me not trust, you know, I just don't trust it. I don't fucking trust it. And so I've never been the type of person that's been religious, unless I was in a really down moment in my life and I felt like Jesus was the only thing I could turn to. And the fact that I did that made me ashamed of my spirituality, or my connection with Christianity, because the only time that I was worried about my Christian practice was when I was scared, or when I felt bad. And so I never really had a real faith. And so I have developed faith in my spiritual beliefs now by things I have seen and experienced. That's why I have Saturn in Sagittarius. That's why my sun is in the 9th house too. So through experiencing things, through seeing things for myself, through working things out of my own truth, I have developed spiritual principles of living more than a religious belief system. You get what I'm saying? So I'm not really tied to any certain religion, because I believe a lot of different things from a lot of different spiritual beliefs personally. And I believe a lot of them are connected in the same. And then I also believe a lot of it is bullshit. But I also have a certain code of conduct and a certain spiritual principle of living that I have developed through me going through what I've been through, and me seeing and experiencing the things that I've seen. I know there's more beyond this plane. I know there's a God, because hell, even science would prove there's a God. Mathematics proves there's a God, or there is a creator. And when I say a God, that doesn't necessarily mean an old man with a white beard that's protecting us and loving us. I'm not saying that. And I'm not saying that to be blasphemous or disrespectful. I'm saying a creative force, a fundamental force that drives us all, whether it be love or whether it be something that we can't explain in words. The light that lives within us all. Because for something to move, Something had to push it. Nothing from nothing makes nothing. So something had to kick this shit off. Something had to hit the switch. If there was a big bang, something had to make it bang. Something had to kick off that reaction. The human ego just wants you to believe that that something cares about you individually. Now, that doesn't mean I don't believe in spiritual practices. I believe there are certain things beyond this plane that are really, 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 really beyond understanding within the human mind. So I cannot explain them. And so, in essence, the ways of heaven are not to be known to the ways of man. So I can't explain it. So there's no point on me speaking on it. I will find out when it's my time to find out that truth. But I can tell you what I've experienced. I can tell you what's real. Now, let me see what my boy said here. Reflection. You said, what could you expect with your Jupiter and Taurus return? Money? Shit. What house is it in? Cause I remember I thought you told me you was gonna loan me something. No. That's how black folks can be sometimes, and I ain't being racist. I know it cause I'm in it. But for real though, you can see things to get better with your family. I would say that you could buy some. I would buy some property, or I would invest in some property at this time if you can. That would be big with Jupiter right there in Taurus. But all around, just like I could see you seeing things get better and more peaceful with your family. I could see you, your house, you know, or you solidifying things with them. So, like, it depends on what you want to do with it, bro. I have this opposite to my Pluto, but Jupiter opposite to Pluto is actually like a very lucky aspect in a certain sense. Earthshaker, don't even play with me, Spence, boy. Don't I ain't gonna get into boxing, but Errol Spence Jr., the truth. And hey, I made a post on Facebook the other day that not a lot of people got to see. You might have saw it. I don't know if you're on my Facebook group. But if you want to know astrology's real, look at boxing. Errol Spence Jr. is called the Big Fish. He's a Pisces. Terrence Bud Crawford. He's a Libra. And he's what they call a switch hitter. He can fight equally great from both the left and the right hand stances. And he's called Bud, like pal, like friend, like your partner. You have Deontay Wilder and Gervonta Davis. They're both Scorpios. And they're both killers in the ring. They are trying to knock you the fuck out. Extremely. And Wilder openly talks about killing people. You have Ryan Garcia, King Rye. You have the Gypsy King, Tyson Fury, both Leos. Hold on, y'all. Let me answer this question for Miss Bliss. Mars transit into the 12th house. It can feel like your energy kind of goes underground. It can feel like your timing is off and it's hard for you to get a rhythm during that time right there. And so, just through, with Mars being in Leo and then even going into Virgo, through confidence and through taking care of yourself and taking care of the details, that's the only way that you'll be able to really come at it at. But it just kind of feels like your energy might go underground or your timing goes off when it goes into that 12th house like that. So you have to find some type of way to confidently get into a rhythm for your energy to work out good for you. Now, what else we got? Yeah, you remember that reflection? You talking about Reefer and Franklin. That's why you my boy. You stayed around. No matter how many times I done jugged at you and went to fucking with you, you always stayed around. My boy Taqueon too, but look. Yeah, Reefer and Franklin, he was here every day harassing all the females. In my chat. This motherfucker gonna hit the lottery and disappear. Told me, hey, I got you. And disappear. He ain't nothing but a hound dog. He ain't no friend of mine. For real. Now. Reflection, what do you mean? Hes Terra, what do you mean I'm so bad? What does that mean? Elaborate. What else we got? S4, you said with 11th house Taurus, is Venus in the 8th conjunct the North Node a prostitution? You said you had a Taurus try to put you on the corner. Look here. You could make, you ain't destined to be no hoe or nothing, but the thing is, people who have Venus in the 8th and people who can have Taurus in the 11th, while they can make a lot of money, they can also kind of look to other people to validate their worth instead of having a lot of worth for themselves. Now, as far as having Venus in the 8th there, you can just kind of find more beauty in the bowels of life rather than on the surface. So people can kind of try to use you, and people see something in you that is very magnetic and very sexy, and it's like people want to touch that, but people also want to possess that. And so more than the prostitution thing, people want to possess you. People want to own you. People want to try to control you because you're something that is very powerful and very magnetic to them. So it makes them feel vulnerable. So there's this power playing game where people want to try to own you and control you and make you do things that you don't want to do, because that right there makes them feel less vulnerable to that powerful thing that you have inside yourself. So don't give that away. Don't give that away by ever letting anybody prostitute you. Hell nah. You pimp them. See, I used to sling a little back in the day. You know what I'm saying? I used to, I would, but I also did a little pimping. And to see somebody look forward to me exploiting them was gut-wrenching, and it was eye-opening, and it made me feel like I was just... And if I wasn't gonna do it, they looking for somebody strong enough to do it right. It didn't matter. Like, that shit killed me. To know I have daughters, like, that shit's trash. All my life, I thought that's what I wanted to do, to be honest with you, because that's what my dad used to tell me and train me, because that's what my dad was, to be honest with you. My dad was a real-life pimp. My grandfather was a pastor of the church. My daddy was a pimp. And then later on, a player, the gigolo himself. And really, when they say pimps, most pimps are hoes, that's true. That's true. They can say they weren't, but they gonna make the money how they can. And so that exchange of power and that vulnerability being exploited is big with that. Like, my dad told me that when he was young and when he was a teenager, there was white or Caucasian couples that would pay him for the husband to watch him sleep with the wife. and he met him somewhere off when he was at work, and it was a little arrangement, but basically that's what he would do. And he might have felt powerful doing that, but at the same time, in a form, they're paying you to use you and exploit you for the cuckolding. And so doing that, like they was using you, like they was exploiting you for whatever. And I myself, when I was younger, I was in this belief system that because I slang dick the way that I do, and because I look the way that I does, and because I had all this potential, I didn't have to work or be a man. Nah, somebody gonna take care of me. I'm the one. I'm special. Nah, fuck that. I was trash. I wasn't being a man. And so, for me, I had to grow and evolve away from that shit that was instilled in me from my dad. The shit that he steadily drilled in me and the shit that I saw. Like, it wasn't something that was just me knowing my dad was this. Like, he would tell me, and my friends also would tell me, nah, this is how a player's supposed to act. This is how you finesse. This is how you handle your business. This is how a pimp conducts. This is how this is how, and it's called giving you the game. And see, the game is meant to be sold and not told. So if somebody's giving you the game, the only thing you can do is use that game they gave you to take over the world, or to show them that you the motherfucking man that was deserving of it. Like, there's a whole culture with that trash. And so I would get so enamored with being that type of dude and having a whole bunch of women that shit just became central to me. That's just who I was. Like, it was natural. I didn't even mean to do it. Like, playing around, fucking around with different women, trying to get what I could and do this and do that. Like, that shit was just natural to my character. And it's because I have my Black Moon Lilith in Gemini in the 8th house. And so for me, it was just like, hey man, like, I'm so good at so many different things. I have so much potential. I understand so many things. I'm so cool with it. I'm so this with it. Like, and also with that Venus and Leo and that, like, I just had this thing where I just thought that I was somebody that wasn't going. And that Black Moon Lilith is trying to my ascendant too. I just realized it. Out of all the years of me doing astrology, I just realized that about my own placement. But yeah, like, all of that shit, the way that I was with that conceitedness and that ego was just built up into a facade that was exploitive. And it really made me look weak. When you look at it from a perspective of being a solid and upstanding and strong person and being somebody of strong character, you see that was weakness. Like, that right there was just you showing how fucking weak you are and how much you need other people. It's not you being strong and you taking control. It's you being weak and codependent. It's manipulative codependence. And so that's what I dealt with. And so it kind of is like, when are you going to man up and do your own thing? And that helps you have healthy relationships. That's why my North Node is in Aries in my 7th house. Like, I had to start being straight up and man up and be my own person. And that would allow me to have a healthy relationship with my wife and for my kids. But it started with me owning up and me actually doing it. When I was trifling and I was sorry and I was doing fucked up shit, like, it all was dependent on me having relationships with other people work out favorably for me. But the thing is, that just made them all be turmoil, and it made them all fake, and it made me a piece of shit. So when I fixed what I had inside of myself and I worked on my character and I worked those things out from a ultimate perspective, that shit right there just made me the type of person who understood that when I'm being a good person, when I'm being straight up in my relationships, that makes everything better in my life. And it makes me have healthier relationships. And it makes people want to be in my energy because the connection is genuine. And so a lot of it has to do with people just I forgot what I was even gonna say. Fuck that. But yeah. EGM, you said, can a Gemini stellium in the 9th house be in a committed relationship? Yeah, anybody can be in a committed relationship. Is that going to be something that's stimulating enough for them to maintain is the thing. Like, there are different types of committed relationships. So they're going to have some type of relationship that's stimulating enough that they can maintain it, and they have to be able to feel free within their relationship. And them being able to feel free within that relationship. And that doesn't mean that they have to be allowed to cheat or anything. It just means they have the freedom to choose their partner every single day. And there's something that's beautiful in that. I just don't know how to do it. My Venus and Leo don't know how to do it. That's real. My Cancer sun don't know how to do that. My Mars and Capricorn in the 4th house don't know how to do that. My Pluto in the 1st house don't know how to do that. Like, I don't know how to do that. So, did I skip anybody's questions? We got about 5 more minutes and we're gonna go. 7 more minutes, we're gonna go. So, if you have any more questions, let's get them out right now. Like I said, esto guay. I got family stuff to do. And we'll see. I might be back tomorrow. Depends on what time I get done with the readings that I have set up to do tomorrow. I might be back Friday. Might be back both of them. Who knows? I'm a vibe. You got to catch me. GB Reload. You said Aries, Venus in the 7th house. Oh, man. Well, with the Aries, Venus in the 7th house, see, you're going to shoot your shot. Or that person, whoever that is, I don't know who that is, that's not a hothead, but that's a person that's going to shoot their shot. They going to shoot their shot. They going to supply the adventure, and they going to make sure that, hey, they let it be known that they first. They the one. Like, and with an Aries Venus in the 7th house, you could also kind of have people who they kind of bring out the more passionate or more aggressive side of other people. Like, even if they're not the most aggressive person themselves with that Libra rising, they're going to be the type of person that they turn other people on. And even if they don't turn them on, when it comes to their close relationship, like, they know how to get people fired up. And even in conversations, like, they know how to really, really, really just press people's buttons and get that shit, you know, going fundamental. So there can be a thing where they can piss people off, or they can, I have Aries in my 7th house. I don't have Venus there. I have Venus in Leo, but there is a trine with that, so I understand it. So it's more or less like they can aggravate other people, or they can project a certain thing or feeling onto other people and then respond to that projection. But overall, they're going to be the type of person, when it comes to their pursuits and what they want, that shoots their shot. They're the type of person who likes to be first. They're the type of person who they feel like, hey, they're going to supply the adventure in that relationship, and they're the one that brings something into that relationship that's irreplaceable. So yeah, there's that. I hope that answered your question, GB. Now, Jupiter transit the moon in the 8th. 13 moon Lily. Well, Jupiter transiting the moon in the 8th would just mean that, first of all, you're going to get a depth of understanding with your emotions that you probably wouldn't have accessible to you most of the time. And that makes you feel more positive about yourself, and it makes you feel more comfortable in your own skin, which makes you kind of more comfortable doing things outwardly and dealing with other people. So there's a lot that really helps you with that. Now with Jupiter being in Taurus, you know, you valuing yourself more comes with you understanding yourself more. And with you understanding yourself more, you know you can rely on yourself, and that helps you be more solid. And that right there just makes your life better, and it makes you feel good, and it makes you have more calming time. So with the moon already being exalted in Taurus, it could be very profitable for you, and this could be a time where you're very receptive of the blessings to come to you in your life. And it's really because you have an understanding of what's for you and what you're supposed to be doing. And then Tigger's World, this is the last question. You said Venus and Gemini in the 9th house. You said you ain't gonna lie, you've been thinking about that placement heavy, and you never did too much research on your own Venus placement, surprisingly. You're restless. You're a restless soul. Like, the thing is, you love people. You love the people you're in relationships with, but at the same time, like, you don't like shit to get stagnant. Like, you do not like, and it can get stagnant for you real fast. And so you have to find a way for that relationship to be stimulating for you on a daily basis in a multitude of different ways. It can't be, we just like each other this way, or there's just this right here. No, there has to be different ways that keep you interested, or if not, there is this thing inside of you where you might feel like, hey, this is not what I need it to be, so I'm gonna move on. Like, there is a restlessness to your love nature. And that doesn't mean you're a cheater or that you're the type of person that's always, gonna do people dirty. It just kind of means that you know how to move on when situations become stagnant. And it kind of means that there's also times where that restless soul has made you leave a situation before it was allowed to develop in a healthy way. So you do have to be careful with that, because if you don't give yourself a grounding point and give yourself the background you really need, this could give you a disposition that just kind of merely dances across the surface of life. So you have to be careful with that. But yeah, I love y'all. I appreciate your love and support. We'll be back soon. If anybody is interested in any astrological readings whatsoever, please get at me ASAP, because we are open for business and I'm working. And so you need to get at me at mr.turner1300@gmail.com. And that goes for numerology readings too. And I offer a multitude of services. And I'm not having any sales right now, but my prices are reduced for the moment, as I'm getting back into the swing of things and I'm catching up. So you might want to catch me while my prices are where they're at, because in a few weeks, I'm trying to stack up some birthday money. We need that. I love y'all. And Awoken, it depends on what type of reading you want. I have a audio recording that I can do for you where I read your chart on my own and give you an audio recording of me interpreting it. Or we could get on the phone and have an interactive phone call reading for a little bit more than that. Or we could even have a video conference where we're, interacting with each other through a video call and talking to each other, and I'm reading your chart and you're able to ask me questions and all of that. So it just depends. And I have Synastry Readings, and I have all kinds of stuff I offer. You just gotta get at me and I'll send you a price list. And for the people that are waiting on their readings, I am working on them, and you will be getting them throughout the week. I'm working every day, and we're gonna get caught up. So I love you. I appreciate your patience for me being worried about how I was feeling. I thank everybody for everything, and please keep praying for my health and my positive outcomes with everything I'm working on with my family. And I'm gonna keep being here and helping y'all in every way that I can. Thank you so much for everything. We're out.